This is Bob Sansevere with TwinCities.com, web sports producer Kevin Cusick. Kevin, Vikings are getting their rookies together, a little mini camp action. The guy that people are certainly focusing on, certainly Anthony Barr, but the real guy everyone's going to be watching and is Teddy Bridgewater and what Teddy football can do.
That's good.
That's
really good.
I don't know where that came from. It just came out of nowhere. But what he does, and I'm sure that Dennis Ryan, the equipment manager, already probably has a container, like the big containers you see on ships, full of gloves, so that he does not run out.
Yes.
He's got his glove. He's magical.
Well, I think based on the amount of work that we think at this point that Teddy Bridgewater is going to see this year, just a couple of gloves will probably do.
Oh, I disagree.
Because
you don't think he's going to play much?
I don't think he's going to play much because Norv Turner has a history of not playing rookie quarterbacks since he had the misfortune, I think it was in '94 when he was a Redskins quarterback, that he entrusted his team to Heath Shuler.
Well, that was Heath Shuler.
And since then, he has almost given no play to rookie quarterbacks on teams where he's either been the head coach or the offensive coordinator. Now, this will be different because this is probably the best rookie quarterback he'll have had access to, combines with the most meager or average at best starting quarterback in Castle. But I think that it's going to be pretty slow going for Bridgewater in terms of getting in. I don't think he's going to get into a game until the first injury with Matt Castle, which could be in the first game.
I don't agree. I think he's going to be early in the season because I think they have to they're going to, as Seattle did with Russell Wilson, they're going to see in camp that he actually can play the game and then he can play it at a high level, and they're going to entrust this team to him.
Sure.
And Castle will be left again.
But he's going to have to show a big improvement in throwing the ball deep.
He's going to have to show a big improvement over his pro day.
Well, but
his throwing the ball deep, 71% of his passes were completed, including 70% under pressure. He was hitting some deep passes.
Yes, but in his college career, I think it was only in like the high 30s, low 40s, his completions over 15 yards. And that's basically the definition of a Norv Turner offense.
All I know is
passing down the field.
I have seen a lot of footage of him, and a lot of those balls are going more than 15 yards, and they have that nice little arc to them. I mean, I think he's going to work out just fine. I think he was a good quarterback to get, and I really am shocked and appalled that you would dog this young man the way you have, and just
Am I
say
trolling
that
him a little, you think?
Yeah, it's just I don't know if I can continue.
No, but I'll say one thing. I think
Mr. Negativity.
Teddy Bridgewater, for them drafting up to get him, was a great pick getting him there. And long term, he's going to be, I'd say, probably a solid NFL quarterback. I don't think he's going to be great, but he's not going to be bad. And he is going to be the Vikings starting quarterback for the next 4 or 5 years.
He'll be the second.
But I don't think he's going to be the starting quarterback this year, unless he really shows something in camp. During the preseason games,
and I say
because there's no reason to rush him. They know they're not a playoff contender this year, and they know they have a serviceable starter, so they're going to go easy with Teddy. It'll be one of these deals where they'll push him as far as he allows them to with his development, and the main development he has to show is the ability to throw all over the field and not just in the 10 to 15.
He gets the right glove, he'll be fine, and he'll be the second best quarterback to come out of this draft after my guy, Jimmy Garoppolo, the eye tie.
That's right.
And he went to a pretty good team, too, by the way.
Yes, he will. He'll have a great view to watching.
Now, he won't be starting coming out of camp.
He will not be starting for like the next 3 years.
He will be much like Aaron Rodgers. He'll sit, he'll watch, he'll wait, and then he'll come in, and he'll lead them to glory.
But I think Tom Brady has more than... I think Garoppolo is going to have... I think Garoppolo probably will end up starting for another team after sitting on the bench.
Or you think it'll be a Ryan Mallett thing where they're looking to ship him out in a few years?
Or Matt Castle.
Or Matt
Castle, as soon as he got his 1 year in after Brady got hurt,
well, then you know
he
what?
Ended up elsewhere.
Perhaps he'll wind up here as a quarterback someday if Bridgewater flops as you're predicting.
I think Johnny Manziel is going to be the big quarterback this year just because Cleveland is going to end up playing him substantially. I saw it today. The over-under in Las Vegas is 8.5 games.
That he plays?
That he starts for Cleveland.
He better change his game a little bit because he's going to get hurt. The way he runs around there and just,
that's the danger with him. But Fran Tarkenton was able to stay relatively healthy for many years.
But the problem here is they're a lot bigger, they're a lot faster, and even when he did the Gruden camp, he had nobody rushing. He couldn't stay in the pocket. Mm-hmm. He just does not want to stay in the pocket. He starts to drift out of that. His lineman, he doesn't drive his lineman nuts.
And the thing is, if you watched any of Texas A&M's games the last couple of years, he got clobbered on occasion in
But they're a lot
college,
bigger,
and now he's going to be getting clobbered
faster,
by a lot bigger,
and
faster.
it'll hurt a lot more. Now, a quick thing on the Twins. Nolasco and Hughes are pitching better for the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get Gibson to get back on track because he's 3 of the last 4 games have not been very good. But there are things with the Hughes and Nolasco that make you think maybe if Alex Meyer comes up, things will get better. The problem is, as the pitching incrementally gets better with some of these guys, the hitting is really starting to fall off.
Yeah.
With
Even with Aaron Hicks?
Aaron Hicks's walk-off single. No, but they really need to be concerned. Colabello, I don't think he's going to be with this team a month from now. I mean, it's been one of the most stark changes in the guy. He soared for 3 weeks, and these last 3 weeks, it's been abysmal.
Pitchers figured it out.
Yeah, they figured it out.
I'm really excited about Hicks because Hicks is finally a major leaguer that Bob and I have someone in common with because you and I very often don't know who the opposing pitcher is that the Twins are facing each day,
and he doesn't.
And he doesn't either. So it's a bonding thing. But he's hitting 170, and I have to think that average is going to come up. And
171, 172,
and yeah, but I think the hitting is not going to really drop off. If the hitting can pretty much stay where it is and you get some improvement on the pitching. The thing is with the American League, there's really only 2 teams now that have shown themselves to be playoff teams, and that's Detroit in the Central and Oakland in the West. Everyone else in the American League is mashed together, and there's so much competition like in the East with all 5 of those teams that the records are going to be low. ESPN has.
You're not predicting a Twins.
ESPN has the Twins with a 15% chance of making the playoffs this year, which may not seem like a lot, but it is more than Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Arizona, Tampa Bay, as far as teams that have recently been in the playoffs.
Incredible.
It's a complete mess, the American League. You may have 2 teams that are just, in the 85 win range making the playoffs. So I don't think the Twins are a playoff team, but they're not that far from being competitive for it, and that'll make it a much more interesting season as you go into, July and August.
Let me just say this about that. I say that there's a 50% chance that they have a better record than they have right now when you're dealing with 500 when we talk again.
Perhaps.
Kevin Cusick, Bob Sansevere, CJ.
CJ.
Say hello to everyone. There she is. There's her hand. We'll be talking again real soon.